Thank you.
So we'll go to about 30, 35 minutes where I have some questions that I prepared for Jack. He hasn't seen them. So hopefully we'll make it somewhat entertaining. And then Alicia, where's Alicia? So she'll wave at me, and then we'll do some Q&A. We have mic set up, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. It is a fireside chat. Where was my fire? It's fireside chat, so the GSB was nice enough to provide a little picture of a fire. Although with 95 degrees out there, I'm not sure we needed any fire. Jack,
yeah.
We were both in Seattle. I'm not reading my email. I'm reading my notes here. We were both in Seattle last couple of days, and you were part of the delegation that traveled with President Xi. And there were many interesting things that were discussed. And you were on a panel Tuesday morning that included entrepreneurs that were selling sausages and brewed coffee and what common themes with the President Xi, what common themes did you all explore both on the Chinese side and what did you hear on the US side?
Well, first I would like to thank Stanford for giving me this great honor. I never thought that I can have this privilege to get this award. Because remember 20 years ago when Seattle discovered internet, and 19 years ago, first trip to come to the Silicon Valley. And I was so excited by people, especially in the evening, all the roads, traffic jam. I'm excited by that, especially in the Sunday and Saturday weekends, all the parking lots, there's no place to parking car. I think this is so exciting, which China should have that. And I go back and, that's right, now we have a traffic jam, but we all, so we went back and started the business. Well, and I never know I would be able to survive for 20 years. So I call myself like a blind man riding on the back of a blind tigers. And for 20 years, survived to today, still surviving. But we want to make this company last 102 years. So we finished only 16 years. There are 86 years to go. So I hope that 86 years later.
Explain why 102. So you started in 1999.
Yeah, because in China, everybody wants to make company for the last 100 years. This become a slogan. Nobody take it seriously. So if you want to give, the KPI to your people, it should be very specific. Then people know it's serious. 102 years that we were born in 1999, Alibaba. So last century, we had 1 year, and this century, we want to have 100 years. Next century, 1 year. 102 cross-rich centuries. So very specific. So in our company, we never talk you're successful or not, because we think there are 86 years, next 86 years, there are many chances that you will fail. So that's why we say, don't talk about you're successful. 86 years later, we talk about it. So, well, I think the Seattle trip was very good. And we heard what the American entrepreneurs and business leaders worry about. And I think the American business leaders also hear what we worry about, what we need. But I think that in the essence, all the entrepreneurs and the business leaders in the world are the same. We want to create values for the others. But there is a lot of a misunderstanding between us. And my suggestion is that the US and China should not like a chicken talks to ducks. Everybody want to tell. Nobody listen. We need a common language between chicken and ducks, right? People talk the same language. We have the same standard. And I think this kind of dialogue is pretty effective and useful. And I suggest that we should have a US and China business dialogue talk annually, every year, once in America, once in China, get the government leaders sitting there and how can improve the business environment. Normally, government leaders have a lot of dispute, argue, but business people, we talk a lot. If we don't talk, there will be problems. So I think the Seattle trip is good.
Yeah. Good. I Surprised you even answered my question. That's good. Usually he'll just talk about whatever he wants to talk about. So thank you. But
I try to talk the duck's language, you know.
The Chinese economy has been on everybody's mind, right? I mean, and people are worried here that the slowdown in China will affect global economy. How are you seeing things? I mean, obviously the stock market has been kind of a symbol of something that's a bubble, but what is going on in China from your viewpoint? What's your perspective? I mean, you're not an economist, but you see so much going on there.
Yeah. Well, first, I think people in the States, in the West, worry about China. I think it's a good thing. Because every time when West worry about China, China go up. And when people in the Western think, wow, China's have a good future, and China has a problem. And China, the Western has been suspect China growth for past 30 years, right? So that's fine, and it takes time for both sides to understand each other. Well, China, I think, keep on growing for 10, 11, 12% for so many years. I don't think it can last long, and it's impossible. As I said, it's like a human body. When you are 1.8 meters tall, you cannot keep growing like that pace all the time. You have to grow in your quality, the brain, not the body size. And especially today, I don't think, first, it's impossible to keep 10, 15, 11% growth annually. Second is that China needed to be slowed down and have to learn to be slowed down. Because when you see the water, when you see the air, when you see all the resources we used, it's impossible and it's ridiculous. And we don't want to, China have making a lot of money, and we spend the money on the medicine and spend the money in the hospital. This cannot work. So on the other side, people like me, I think China is slowing down for 7%. Good. But the thing, even 7%, think about, we are still the fastest growth economy in the world. And with the 7% of the total GDP, think about it, guys. This is lots of money. We should use the money in a better way. We need the quality, not the quantity. 30 years ago, we need a lot of quantity, but now it's a quality. So I think in the West have a high expectation that China should have quality. China should control the air and pollution and this and that. When we really start to do it, people start to worry, which is fine, but it's slowing down. On the other thing is that I think China economy is not that bad. There are two things. There are called the three 马车, right? Horse carriages, yeah. Right? Investment, infrastructure, exporting, domestic consumptions. These are the three things that China's always proud of, that these are the three engines that put China economy grow. But the investment of infrastructure slowing down. And exporting slowing down. These are the two things government is very good at. They love to do it because they have the power to exporting and investment. But there's one thing they could not do it good way is the consumptions, because consumption is not done by government. Consumption is done by entrepreneurship and market economy. So I think people like us have the great opportunity. Now it's our turn, not government's turn. After 30 years, government pushed the economy in their way. And now it's our way. So I consider this as an opportunity for real market economy. And the next thing is that I said yesterday on a conference to the dialogue, there are a lot of misunderstanding, culture difference between American and Chinese. When Americans think about the economy is slowing down, that means people don't have money to spend. No, guys, different. You guys know how to spend tomorrow's money, future's money, or other people's money. But we Chinese, our habit is to save money. We'll always keep the money in the banks. China's been poor for so many years, so we worry about it. When we have money, we put it in the bank. When we have money, we put it in the bank because we know tough days are coming. So you see, China has the largest banking deposit in the whole world. We also deposit a lot of money in the States, right? When we know when the tough day comes, we start to pay, we start to buy. Now, the tough day comes, people still start to buy. With our number shows on our website, right, we are the largest, 12% of the total China retailer. The consumption is still going up healthily and aggressively. Especially the economy is bad, people start to buy online because it's cheaper. The other is difference. My grandmother has only one shirt in her wardrobe. My mother has 3. My daughter generation, 50. And 48% of them, she never wear it. This is called domestic consumption. And we have to build up this kind of a behavior and make people start to spend money. And this is something the government is not good at. We know how to make this thing happen. So I think generally, I'm a positive, but next to 2 or 3 years, maybe I have problems. People say, well, anti-corruption, this, but think about it. Anti-corruption and rule by law is laying a great foundation for the market economy. You don't want to go do business by bribery, right? You don't want to have an unfair environment in China doing. So market economy is about rule by law, and market economy is about clear, transparent, and fair. And I think this year, that year, bad. But this is why we need entrepreneurship. This is why we need that the business to drive the economy. So I'm a positive, and when people worry, I'm happy. When people are too happy, I start to worry. Because and don't worry about the things the president is worried about. Worry about the things that nobody worry about. And this is the opportunity. So I'm positive because I'm positive, but I'm not stupid. I know that we have problems, but you have to solve the problems little by little. And that's it.
I think you're right in that for a consumption and a service economy to take off and drive China as the third engine, it is going to require more businesses rather than governmental policy.
Yeah.
So I do think that's an opportunity for not just Alibaba, but you're right in the middle of it, but everybody.
Yep. By the way, the other thing is the new economy. You see the traditional business is going down, right? But the new economy is growing up tremendously. So not only the BAT, we have so many wonderful startups today coming up. And that is the rising star. And this is what China should go, not keep those things. Yeah, we can never. Nobody can go back to yesterday. And even you want to go back to yesterday, even if you can go back to yesterday, you don't want to. So I think we are good. Yeah.
Well, I mean, my perspective from being there yesterday is that I think both the government leadership and especially the business communities are emphasizing that our differences are not that big in the grand scheme of things, and that the U.S. and China are going to have to be key partners to solve the world's problems in the next 30 years. So, so it is largely a collaborative effort, and I think Jack,
if we collaborate, we could a lot of American dreams and Chinese dreams and world dreams. If we don't collaborate, it will be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's turn. And you're here tonight because of the entrepreneurial spirit of you and your founders. And obviously, when Alibaba started, it was no such thing as e-commerce. But before, if I may, before we get to Alibaba, you were kind of a serial entrepreneur, because when I in fact, you also know about government, because when I first met you in 1997, you were in the government in between startups, I guess, and you always dreamed of creating something. And maybe you can talk a little bit about what did you see when you were at the government. You were coming off of another startup, and that everybody's very familiar with your story, but I think that part of it was very important to you, because then you went back to Hang Zhou and started Alibaba. Yeah. So maybe talk about that, and then talk about what did you end up seeing in 1999 that made you decide that Alibaba was it.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Jerry knows me. so well. And by the way, Jerry, not only the entrepreneur, and he's a wonderful investor. He's probably one of the best investors in Silicon Valley, right?
I'll give you my version.
He's sitting on my board because very few people see the real things in his heart. He's so smart. I remember that the day when we negotiated with Yahoo, buying the Yahoo, get $1 billion. Today, people think it's a good deal, but at that time, it was a big risk. It's not easy. That many years ago, put $1 billion inside, and we were almost accept because we are not happy about this and that, and he's not. His CEO at that time, he was not the CEO, right? Yeah. And then he said, we almost are separate. And he said, call me. He said, Jack, can you come and tonight we have a drink? For final
he
effort.
can't drink that much back then, so. Yeah.
And then I said, okay. So he took me to a small, tiny Japanese restaurant, bought me big glass of sake. And we drink and try to convince me how wonderful Yahoo is. And after the drink, we say, okay, let's keep on talking good. The most expensive sake I've ever heard in my life.
Well,
now I'm pretty sensitive about a sake now.
I know. I was going to invite you to some sake after this, but I guess I better. But I think that.
But I will continue to answer your question.
Yeah.
I went back to China with the Seattle dream of the internet. I believe this thing is going to change the world. I believe this thing will be big. But whether whether Jack Ma and his team can be successful, I don't know. I told the team somebody will be successful, but may not be us. We have to work very hard. So it were tough days in China, year 1996, 1997, and then we go nowhere because I borrowed $2,000 from my friends and families and relatives together. So we compete with China Telecom. They have money, they have the amount, SOE, they're state-owned business, they compete with us. Finally, they cannot kill us because we want to survive. And we, of course, cannot kill China Telecom. So we had a joint venture, they have a 70%, we have 30%. And I was so stupid, I think they really love us, but they got us because they want to kill us. 7 boss seats, they have a 5, we got a 2, everything, without even say our idea, say we don't like it. So I said, maybe I should go to Beijing, join the government. Maybe they can help us promoting the internet. So we went to Beijing, joined the MOFTEC, Ministry of Foreign Trade, as a part-time job, contract for 14 months. Working inside, I found government can never, ever promote the internet, make internet business. Because the philosophy of internet is try to develop, how to make other people develop the business. But the government, they want to control at that time. So it's a totally different philosophy. They are smart, they're good people, but they think, how can I make it using internet to manage and control? But we think we should not control, making other people develop. So different philosophy, I think it won't work, so I left. And then during these days, I met Jerry Yang, all right? And then I think, well, no chance in the government, no chance in that, and then I believe we should not give up. So I was in a desperate and think a lot. Let's go do it again. So we went back to Hang Zhou. I invited the 18 my students and friends in my apartment. Year 1999, February 21st. We took the video. I was talking about the future. People look at me, these guys crazy, right? But most people cannot find jobs. So I say, well, if you have an idea, let's do it. And then, well, good thing is that we keep all the video. Our company probably kept the most of the videos. And most of the companies. Yeah. Every meeting we had in the past 16 years, we videotaped because we know everything, every mistake we made, every decision made in the future, we will give our young people to study us. We're going to open in every 10 years. What happened? Why we make this decision? Even discussing with Yahoo, why we make join with Yahoo. We all videotaped. So someday we will open it. Yeah. So 1999, we started the business. And people ask, why not Beijing, Shanghai, why Hangzhou?
I mean, now Hang Zhou is this hub of entrepreneur and startups and tech, but back then...
Back then, Hang Zhou is nowhere. And I think at that time, Nokia was so good at that time. And I say, guys, where's Nokia? It's a Finland, some small island headquarters there. It's not where you are. I don't see it's where your heart is, where your vision is. So we said, Beijing, they love SOE, state-owned business. Shanghai, they love multinational companies. IBM, Microsoft, they embrace you. Startup, entrepreneur, forget it, right? So I said, if in Beijing, we're nobody. In Shanghai, we're nobody. If we go back to Hang Zhou, we're the only child of the local family. So we started.
Yeah. And local children are very much prized and well taken care of. And I think Hang Zhou has benefited greatly by Alibaba, but I also think Hang Zhou has always been very entrepreneurial in fostering what you guys have done.
Yeah.
So I have to rebut your story because, and maybe there's a video somewhere, but I think that one of the reasons we at Yahoo at that time, and it was 10 years ago. Yeah. So this is the 10 years of that deal. But it was clear to me that we at Yahoo could not have built a China business, and we had a product at the time that was competing with the Alibaba Taobao auction, and we were very successful in Japan. Yahoo Japan had built a really great commerce product, and so we thought we can use the same idea to build something in China. And then in that time, eBay was also there, and we were there, and we were competing, and we were just getting killed by this local company. And I said, what is this local company? It's like called Taobao. And I was like, who's behind this? This is a guy named Jack Ma. And I remember saying, wow, is this the same Jack Ma I met, years ago? And it sure was.
Don't compete with me.
Well, and that was exactly, and so the real, everybody can say, oh, well, what is great insight, and you put the money in, but we really picked the person that we felt like, if we can't beat them, you might as well join them. So we were very fortunate to join up with Alibaba and with you, Jack. So
thank you.
I think everybody here knows the brand of Alibaba, but because many of us in the States don't actually use your products and don't, we hear these numbers. What is Alibaba for the Western audience? How is it different from Amazon, eBay? I mean, is it similar? Is it different? Give us a definition of Alibaba from your perspective.
Yeah, this is our fault because we don't have our services here that serve the American users. But I believe that most of Chinese guys here know about us. Have you ever used anybody using our service, Chinese guys? Oh, thank you very much.
There's only 380 million of them, so
Yeah. When that question later. I go to the China. A lot of Chinese government organizations invite me to talk, and when I say how many people use them, very few. But every family using. So our strategy from year 2003 and 4, we say it's so difficult to change a successful people because they say, no, this one word. But it's good. Let's helping those people who want to be successful. So we focus on the young people. At that time, in ancient history, China, if you make the parents agree, the kids agree. If you want to marry, you have to convince the parents, not the kids, right? Today, different. If you convince the kids, you change the parents. So we focus on the young people that year. But by answering your question is that people say, Alibaba like American Amazon? No. eBay? No. Okay. This is the very traditional USA thinking. If there's no such model in America, they either don't understand, they don't like it, or they don't buy it. right? So any model, they want to find one. So at the first day, well, who are you? Yeah, we are eBay. Is that eBay? Okay, yeah, so we understand, but we are not eBay. We are not e-commerce company, although we have the largest e-commerce probably business in the world. We're not eBay. We do not buy and sell. We help people become e-commerce company. We enable other companies to do e-commerce. This is the difference between us and Amazon. We believe every company should be an Amazon. Amazon is a traditional business, happen to have a website. Which we believe, whether right or wrong, we think every manufacturer, everybody should sell online, right? Why you buy and sell? Too complicated. Why you want to buy and sell and deliver? Even more complicated. So we think we should making sure everybody using the e-commerce, using the payment, using the marketplaces, using the logistics system, using the data to build up their own business. So who are we? Yeah, we have the largest payment in the world. You probably don't know. We are 11 times bigger than PayPal, right? We are bigger than eBay plus Amazon together on the sales. And we deliver 30 million packages and more than that per day in China. What does that mean? Total USA package delivered today put together less than 30 million. So we have this business, but people consider us as e-commerce. Who we are infrastructure of business in China. If you want to finding buyers and sellers, our marketplace help you. Taobao, Tmall, Alibaba. If you want to having a payment, financial service, Ali Ant Financing help you. If you need a data service, Ali Cloud Dating service will help you. By the way, people only know about cloud dating here, the Amazon. Soon you will know us. And the third, logistic. We got 2 million people deliver products for us. So people in the States always question, how can you deliver things? And why you don't have your own deliver guys? Guys, the difference between USA and China is that you have a UPS, Federal Express, wonderful system. The traditional e-commerce company in the States, that they still do some supplementary to that. China, about 40 million packages per day. How many people you need? We believe in 10 years, every day China will deliver 300 million packages per day. On 11/11 day last year, we delivered 270 million packages per day. 11/11 we could sell more things. Why? We control the traffic, we control the selling. The reason is that we worry about the delivery. If the snow comes in November and the winter comes, the whole China traffic will be jammed. This is something that we're worried about. So we believe in 10 years, China will have at least 10 million people deliver things on the street. So even if you hire 1 million people to deliver things for you, you only have 10% market share. And I don't think we can manage 1 million people on the street, develop people. Because every day you have so many car accidents, you'll make you die. So we should encourage other people, enable other people to do it. So we are building up the infrastructure that we believe in 10 years, we hope, this is our mission, helping doing business easier. Any business, maybe 80 or 70 business in China, if you want to do business, finding customers, we help you. Financial services, we help you. Deliver services, we help you. Logistic, we help you, and marketing, we help you, and the other thing is data, we help you. So we are like a company building up that, which is totally different. But people say, oh, how many GMV you have? Oh, how many packages? This is only small part of our business. Our vision is bigger. We just think that we don't want to be, we might be bigger than Walmart this year or next year. And I remember 7 years ago, the senior management, like a vice chairman or something, come to Hang Zhou. Of Walmart, we have a drink, and not sake. A drink, and I said, sir, in 10 years, we will be bigger than Walmart globally. He looked at me and said, young man, very good vision.
But,
I said,
but you've always had this relentless focus around SMBs as your core constituency, if you will. I mean, you obviously care about consumers and blah, 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 but you're enabling of these businesses on your platform, being their infrastructure. That's always been your focus all along.
That's right.
That hasn't changed.
That has not changed. That's what my answer is, that we will be bigger than Walmart this year, but does not mean that we are good, because we don't want the world has another company who are very able of selling things. We don't think we should buy and sell. We should enable. So now there are 10 million small business power sellers in our site. We give them traffic. We give them the knowledge. We give them the data. We help them deliver, using the third party. So it's the 10 million small business combined together. They are the most powerful economy in the world, and we never change. I think we love small business. We love young people. We love women.
Talk about that. Why don't you talk about the women?
I never know, before the IPO, there is American media, big media came to us saying, Jack, why so many women in your company? I say, anything wrong? Because we never know something wrong. And then we find more than 52% of our colleagues are women.
Your senior management team.
And senior management, 33% of the management are women, and 24% of the senior management are women. We have a women CEO, women CFO, women chief people officer. We feel proud because and by the way, 60% of our users are women. So we would love, we were so excited because this century, the difference between this century and last century is competition of muscle. This century is competition of a brain. So brain, I think women and men are same. And the other issue is that this century is trying to use a friendliness, care others more than care yourself. This is the difference between IT and DT time. So we find women care others more than men care others for others. Well, women have to care for
I
husband,
don't know. You're going to get a lot
children.
of men very unhappy here. So.
I'm telling the truth, right? And that is why we are supportive, because we find most of families, women make the decision what to buy. These are the most important decisions. And so we are happy about that.
Yes,
Yeah.
can't argue with that.
Great.
That sounds, I think that vision of Alibaba, albeit very consistent from day one, is something I think is reaching an incredible scale. When is that coming to the US? What's your global, and not just US, but globally, talk about what is that? Is it the same vision that you will roll it out in the global sense? What can you tell us about Alibaba's international plan?
Yeah, I think at least the day when I retire, or the day that at least I can see the company, I don't want the company to change the mission that helping doing business easier for small business. But we never say we're helping Chinese small business doing business easier, helping globally. This is our vision and our mission that we will never change that. But maybe 60 years old, later, I don't know where I'll be there, but they probably go skyrocket, whatever. But the day when I see it, I don't want a company change that mission. And our global strategy is probably different from the American ways. In the past 20 years, globalization is more like Americanization, helping big companies going. Does not mean bad. Contribute the world a lot. The past globalization, helping big companies going global. But I think because of the internet, next 30 years, globalization should help small business going globally. For China, because of us, last year we created at least 14 million jobs for China by helping small business, by enable small business with the technology we have, with the resources we gather together. So if we can help more small business in the world, we can help millions of people create jobs, innovations. So we will never change it. So our global strategy is that we want to build up an EWTO, that helping small business sell, buy across the board, help consumers, help American consumers, help the African consumers to buy online within 72 hours, they can receive the products. We want to help the agricultural products, small business in America, sell to China. So our different, in the past 20, 30 years, China is selling. China is exporting. And I'm trying to convince the government, and they accepted that. And I said, next 10, 20 years, China should buy things from the world. Now, we have 300 million middle-class people now in China. Think about, in 10, 15 years, we are going to have 500 million people in China become middle class. They need high-quality products. They need good services, which I don't think today China's land, water can provide that. So we can help more importing from America, importing from Europe, and big companies already almost everywhere in China. Let's help the small guys. This is our strategy. So we are not coming here to America to do business competing with, when you talk about business here, people always ask, when are you going to compete with Amazon? When are you going to compete with eBay? Well, the world is so big. Why you always think about a competition? Think about helping the small guys to go to China. So our strategy is the same, helping small business of the world, helping them go to China. And I feel excited about that. And then I will be more welcome here. Right? People say, you guys come here to sell again? No, so I come here to buy.
Before we open it up to questions, I just, and if you have questions, I think a mic is getting passed around, is that right? Let me just ask one more topic, and if you can keep it somewhat contained, we'll get to the questions. Which is on the subject of philanthropy, because I know you have taken a leadership role in issues around the environment in China. You have personally started a foundation. Just talk about both your personal progress in terms of thinking and doing philanthropy, and also, how is philanthropy going in China in general?
Okay, thank you. Well, honestly, I'm a lucky guy. I would say whether I'm the luckiest guy or unluckiest guy in the world. Unluckiest because I go nowhere. I don't have a privacy. I never thought I could be like that. And people say ugly looking, but I think I'm a unique looking person. Right? People remember me.
Nobody will call you handsome. I know that. So
you have a terrible view of judgment. Well, so with my background, my family background, with my education background, I would be like -2 or -3 if this is 0. Honestly, because I know who I am from my father, my mother, and my aunts. Nobody in my family that is like a government officer, a business leader. That is why in the past 20 years, we never got even 1 cent from government, 1 cent from the China banks. Because you don't have any guanxi, right? So you just have to do from scratches. And with no matter how hard I work, I probably like a 2 or 3 if there's a 10, 2 or 3, that's my top. But today I'm like a 6. So the 4 difference, that does not belong to me. That's not me. So people think, Jack, you're so good. No, I'm not that good. But people say you're the bad. No, I'm not that bad, right? Especially after the IPO, people say, wow, you are so smart. wow, that we're lucky, right? But so I know I said to myself, when you have like a $2 or $3 million, that money belongs to you. But when you have a $20 million, trouble comes to you because you don't know the RMB or US dollars valuation up, devalued into the banks or stock market or in the buy bond, headaches. But when you have a $1 billion, remember that is not your money. That is the people's expectation on you. People put their hope on you because people believe you can manage these money resources better than the others. If you think these are your money, you will be in trouble. So I never think the money that I got, people say, well, Jack, you're one of the richest guy in China. No, I'm not. I'm helping others to manage the money. So I think, how can I spend the money better? And what I worry about, what I want to do, I want to do education because I was trained to be a teacher. I feel guilty for only taught school for 6 years. I feel good about that. So that's why I'm talking everywhere. I think of myself CEO, Chief Education Officer. Try my best to communicate. So, and I think China education system, people say have problem. China education teaching knowledge is so good. 中国的教和育 teaching, we're the best. One of the best in the world. Go to any universities, Chinese students taking exams are the best. In the Stanford, I think, right? They're pretty good. They're very good. But the cultivate, the culture, teamwork, these are terrible. So we got to put more efforts on that. This is something I want to help. And second, environment. I worry about the air pollution, the water, all these things. And so that's why I joined the Nature Conservancy. And the other thing is the infrastructure of the philanthropy. Bill Gates tried to convince me, and with Warren Buffett years ago, came to China, we should donate every money. And I asked them, well, how old are you, Warren? He's 80. I said, when I'm 80, I will donate my money. I'm only 40. What is my philanthropy? China, you go to Beijing, Shanghai, they're rich places, but they are only small part of China. Go to the east, western part of China. So many poor, terrible places. As a business guy, create jobs, build more business, making sure people have jobs, making sure people have life, good conditions. This is the key, right? And the second, you can donate money to Bill Gates. Who should I donate money to? Red Cross? Who should I give money to? Because spending money is more difficult than making money, and especially for philanthropy. When you have a good heart, you should also have good knowledge and capability to spend the money. Otherwise, you are doing good thing with good heart with a terrible way. So I think what we were doing is to train people who can do philanthropy properly. So that's why we work with the Beijing University to have a first master degree philanthropy. Training people, develop people, how to manage the money, how to manage the projects, how to do things better, right? And I think we also have to work with the government to make a good policy for it. So when we build up this infrastructure, talents, and the policy, and I think they're coming. So China philanthropy is coming. But the key is we need good infrastructure. Like China business is good, but if the infrastructure is not ready, you go up and down, and go nowhere. So the money, which I'm going to put in education, environment, health. I worry about a health condition because the environment situation is going to cause China in 10 years health issues. And if we don't start to prepare now, we are going to have a huge problem. So these are the areas I'm doing that. But unfortunately, I don't have plenty of time. So we're forming a team. And I think philanthropy, the easiest thing is about donating money. The most difficult, valuable thing is about time and action. So this is something that we put 0.3% of the total Alibaba revenue every year into the environment protection, water protection. This is probably pretty unique. It's not profit, revenue. If there are any shareholders here, I already wrote on our IP book. And we think this is right. If the community is good, if the people are healthy, the business will be healthy. This is what we believe.
For you.
Yeah.
Well, you can see that Jack has.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have the same passion and vision for philanthropy as you do for your business. That's great. Okay, let's go to questions. I don't know how much time we have. I know we're running a little bit late. Where's the mic, Alicia? Somebody?
Any question will be okay.
Well,
whatever,
not
right?
any question, but you know. Jane, why don't you pick one and.
Hello, my name is Emily Ma. I'm a lecturer here at the GSB. So I love the fact that you're fighting for the small guys, but there are over 400 million people in China who are not yet online. There's 4 billion people on Earth who are not yet online. Do you have some thoughts around that?
Okay, yeah. First, the good thing is that we have 1.4 billion people in the world are online. And they are born in 1980s. This is our hope. Make these people successful. Make these people good. And then they will attract more people going up. Right? If the people who are online are poor, and then nobody will go there. I don't like Chinese movie. All the movies, Chinese movies, the heroes always die. Nobody want to be the hero. In American movies, all the heroes survive. That's why people want to be hero. Right? So my philosophy is that making those people using internet successful, those small business using internet, if they're successful, our business will be successful, more people moving online. So the other thing is that we should work with the government and lower, more infrastructure, lower the cost of using the broadband. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things can be done, but good thing is that 1.4 billion people born in 1980s. These are our hope. These people will change the world. My grandfather know the news by reading newspaper. My father know the news by radio. My generation know the news by watch TV. My children, they're using internet. They say, I want to get involved. This is the hope. So make these people online good, and they will help more people.
Who has a mic? Okay.
Hi, I'm from Egypt. My name's Ali. So one day I'd hope to have children that would call me Alibaba. But why is that the name of your company? That's the first part.
Why is that?
Why is it called Alibaba? Why is the business called Alibaba?
Mm-hmm.
The second question is, if you had to name the top 3 markets other than China, where you think that your business model is most applicable, can you list those?
Okay, thank you. Why we choose the name Alibaba? Because we learned the name from Yahoo. We say, why this Yahoo strange name? But it sounds interesting. Then I was thinking about if we want to build up an internet company that can help in small business. I mean, a lot. I was walking around. I got this name in San Francisco downtown. I was thinking about what the best name, and then suddenly I think Alibaba would be interesting. So I was thinking about there's a waitress came, have a dinner. I asked, do you know about Alibaba? She said, yeah. I said, how do you know about it? What do you know about it? She said, Open Sesame. I said, yeah, that's the name. So I walk on the street asking a lot of people, do you know about Alibaba? They say, yeah. And then we decided this will be Open Sesame online for small business. But unfortunately, the Alibaba domain name was registered by the others. So we're using the Alibaba online. We think this is called AOL. because American online, it would be impossible to have that domain name and service in China, is that right? Or in Egypt, American online, people, But Alibaba online, everybody agree that. So later we bargained, we got the name from a Canadian guy, but I love that name. So now we also register Alibaba.com. Well, our model helps those nations have the small business. If you have a lot of small business, if you have a poor infrastructure of commerce. The reason why China e-commerce grow faster than American, because the American infrastructure of commerce was so good. You have a Walmart, Kmart, whatever mart everywhere. Because they don't need it. They do. But for us, we don't have that. So when internet comes, we become the main infrastructure. So I said, in America, e-commerce is a dessert. We in China, we are main course. And this is why those nations, if your e-commerce of your commerce infrastructure is bad, internet e-commerce will be good. And for internet financing, same thing. America, you don't have internet financing, guys. You don't. We China have. Why? Because our financial system in China is too bad. When it is too bad, it's the opportunity. Now China rural areas, we go to the rural helping the villages. Villages, 10 years ago, no chance because people don't use PC. Too complicated to use PC. Today, everybody have a mobile phone. So villagers, e-commerce, internet grows so fast. So this is why maybe Indian country like Egypt, those with good population, poor infrastructure, young people, your nation has a great young people, it's a great opportunity. When you have young people, it's growth. But don't mean you have the old people bad, but young people, they are the changer, they're the shapers of tomorrow.
We're getting old fast, so we better start. Why don't we take the last question from up on the top there?
Hi, Jack. I'm glad to talk to you. I'm actually from China. I'm from Peking University for undergrad. I'm now a PhD in Stanford. I'm curious about what's your vision on 蚂蚁金服,支付宝, and especially globally, Chinese people are trying to do business not only in China but also in States and also in all over the world, and people want to invest overseas. Do you think 蚂蚁金服 can help with the capital flow globally?
Yeah, thank you. So probably here people did not know about, a lot of people don't know about the 蚂蚁金服, the Ali Ant financing. How many people know about Ant financing? Okay. One day everybody will know because you will use it. Ali Ant financing was coming from Alipay. It's a payment system because this was, we found this company year 2004 because people in China talk a lot on the e-commerce. They negotiate, they talk, but they don't buy because they worry about the money, give him and this guy run away. And this guy say, well, I send you things, I don't get the money. So I went to all the banks and tried to convince the banks, can you help me with the payment? The banks say, your business is too small, we don't want it. So we built up a very stupid service called Alipay. It's escrow services. If you want to buy things from me, you wire the money to Jerry. And Jerry will let me know. I got a product, got money, so I send the products. If you're happy, pay me. Not happy, return the money, return products. People say, year 2003, they say, this is the most stupid idea I've ever heard. Because why you don't use credit card? Guys, we don't have credit cards. So we made that. Well, remember, today, registered users, just the registered users, close 1 billion people using that. And active, I don't tell the number, right? We're so big today on that. And later becomes the standard payment for China. And then based on that, we have all the datas. We have the datas, we have to build up the credit system for each individual. How much you buy, what you buy is that you pay the money in time and then sell all the system. So what 蚂蚁金服 the first is try to build up a credit system for China, the trust system. Without that, small business cannot do business. So today 蚂蚁金服, oh my God, it's a private company. It's so big. It's almost, if not bigger than Alibaba, the same size. And I'm happy because this thing is changing China's financial system. And we are also applying for license in the States. We are going to Korea, Japan, and India, and we think this is going to help millions of people in the world. By the way, I'll give you one example how powerful it is. We got a small loan license 4 years ago, giving loans. We don't have a deposit, giving loans. Within 4 years, we have given 1.5 million small business loans. And every average borrow only $5,000. We make decision whether we should give you money or not, lend you money within 3 minutes. You can borrow 1 cent, borrow for 1 minute, which all the banks got scared about that because the cost is so low. And how many people work for their loan department? 200 people. So 200 people giving loan for 1.5 million business. And this thing, I think, in the future is going to help millions of small business getting loan online based on credit. And the credit system we built up called the Sesame Credit. You buy, you sell the credit, all the things you get it. And the Sesame Credit today, good thing is a lot of government are giving visas to Chinese based on Sesame Credit. And if you want to rent a house, people check your Sesame Credit. And the funny thing is, last month, people find boys and girls. See your Sesame Credit. And this is something we're changing China. I feel proud of that. But we will definitely be in Thailand. Yeah, this is what we want.
Jack, on behalf of the Stanford Graduate School of Business Alumni Association, we want to congratulate you and present you the award for the Entrepreneurial Company of the Year.
Thank you so much.